Do you ever feel like once you finally got a routine going that something happens and it's time to pivot and make a change? That's life with little children and homeschooling, and especially with a newborn. Our newest little one is going to be 3 months very soon. And so for the last month and a half, I, as a mom, have been trying to get back into healthy routines, including working out, eating good amounts of protein, getting all my, nourishment in, and just trying to get back to a healthy weight. And recovering and building muscle are just important things that especially us middle-aged moms need to make a priority. And so I was having a hard time for the last month to find a time that didn't disrupt our school day, but I was still able to get some time building muscle and working out. The early mornings are when I used to work out, and I probably will get back to that at some point, 5, 6 a.m. But that time right now with a newborn is just very unpredictable on whether they're going to wake up or go back to sleep. But there is a time in the morning that has been very consistent with my 2-month-old, and that is a morning nap between 9 and 11. At some point, she takes about an hour nap. And that will only get longer as she ages up to about 1 year old. She'll have that morning nap. And so having that in the back of my mind, I kind of reassessed our routine 2 weeks ago just to see if we could find something else that could work for our family. So if you ever feel like something's not right or you need to fit in something, then don't be afraid to try a different routine, a different schedule, and maybe it'll work out for the better, or maybe you'll just go back to what you were doing before because it worked for the whole family. But I sat down with my older 2 girls and told them we were going to change the routine a little bit just to see if this would work out well, and the importance of mom getting in her exercise. And honestly, the girls loved it, and they have just flown with the idea, and they're thriving in this new routine. So it makes you wonder. We've had pretty much the same timetable routine for about 3 years. And so it's funny we made this one change, and it's working really well. Friends, I'm so excited to share today's sponsor. Tinyland has just released their mud kitchen, and it is the perfect addition to outdoor play. All children like to create, and we want to foster a love of learning. So whether it is mud, sand, rocks, flowers, they are going to have so much fun creating little things to eat and enjoy out in their summer playtime. What I love about this mini kitchen is it has everything. It has a countertop, like an area for washing their dishes, a cooking section, like a little stove, accessory rack. It even came with many little tin pans, 3 pots, a watering can, and the sweetest little utensils. But our favorite feature is definitely the water spout. The little sink area is just so sweet. They can turn the water on and off, which I think is the most fun. Who doesn't like a little dandelion soup in their day? I was really impressed by the quality of the set. It was very, very easy to put together, but I can tell that it will stand the test of time. And when you're investing in something that the kids can play with for many, many years, then you want to make sure that it's going to hold up to their fun adventures. So many details really went into the designing of this piece, which I just love. Of course, during the summer, we want to have the kids spend as much time as possible outside. It also keeps the mess outside. And so this was perfect for just putting right near the sandbox so that the kids could play and create with the sand. But you could really utilize it in any area. If you have a garden area where they like to help garden, or you just want to put it outside by your other play sets, that will work really well too. Even though this tiny kitchen seems to be made for like ages 1 to 6, I will tell you that this will be a neighborhood favorite. Our children will play hours and hours of house outside, and so they're so excited to just have a real kitchen in their playhouse. So even my older kids that are ages 11 and 9 are super excited to have this play kitchen to play with as well. So if you're looking to add something to your outdoor play, then be sure to check out Tinyland Mud Kitchen. The link is down below. Use Hannah15 for 15% off. Or let Grandma and Grandpa know of something they can get for the kids for the summer play. Thank you so much again, Tinyland, for sponsoring today's video. So we actually only have 7 weeks left of our school year, term 3. Just to recap, we took December off, so we have school in June, but my girls are actually working ahead a little bit. This was their choice, and so we might get done a little bit earlier than that. But it just goes to show you that even though we might be almost done with our school year, it's never a bad idea to make a change if necessary. So what our routine, basically what we did was we usually have always started our day off after music and morning routines. We would do our family subjects, and then we'd break off for independent work. So if I wasn't able to get in my workout, early before 7 a.m., then the day is just moving, and I feel like there's not really another break, and we have, different afternoon obligations, and I'm usually tired and don't want to work out by like 3 or 4 o'clock. So what we did instead is, with full agreement, like talking to my girls, because I think it's important as your kids get older that the schedule is going to work for them as well. And you're trying to helping things go smooth for them. So I told them what we were going to instead do: their music, do their, morning routines, and then just go right to their independent work. And then I can just kind of go about my morning things that I typically do. And then once, Emmeline will go down for her nap, then I'll go work out while they're doing their independent stuff. If they finish ahead of time, then they can just play while they're waiting. And then either after lunch, or if it's earlier in the day, I'll just say, finish what you're working on, then we're going to get together and do our family studies. Still working on where I'm going to fit in the time with my kindergartner, but the last couple days we've done it when the baby was still awake earlier in the morning, and that seemed to work really well for his math, writing, and then we usually will do a short reading lesson as well. So I think this routine is going to hold us through the end of the year, and I'm really just excited. So let me know if you do any sort of family time together. If you do it first thing in the morning, if you do it like as a tea time after lunch, or just when does it play out in your home, if that's something that you try to do. And our morning time isn't always an hour. It's just between like 30 and 60 minutes. If we do a read aloud, that's when it will go a little bit longer, because that will take us about 30 minutes. But on some days we just won't do that, and we'll just stick to like our artist study and our poem and our folk song and the other enrichment studies. So this was a Monday, and so I have yet to get into sourdough. It's just one of those things. However, I do have a homemade, just easy sandwich bread that I make usually on Mondays. It makes 2 loaves. I'll put the link in the description. It's just a simple yeast bread, but that works really well for us. And then if there's any left at the end of the week, we can just give the, scraps to the ducks and the chickens. So a slice of toast makes a nice snack for the kids in between meals if they need something. And then some other just Monday prep that I did recently is I actually used my Instapot, and I went ahead and cooked like 5 pounds of chicken breast, because so many recipes that I'm trying to do for myself that are macro friendly and high in protein call for chicken breast, shredded cooked chicken breast. And so I'm like, this is just way easier to just do it all at once, stores in the fridge for a couple of days, and can always throw it in a casserole if I need to finish it up with the family. But on my journey here to lose these last like 25 pounds from the pregnancy, from my 5th pregnancy, it's really important that I have some lean proteins, that I can make sure I'm choosing those options for my breakfasts and my lunches. And then a lot of times I'll just eat whatever I make for dinner for our family. I think one of the things that I have to wrap my head around, and maybe you can relate to this as well, is the fact that, if I have 25 pounds and, you're just slowly, steadily losing it and regaining your muscle mass, that, realistically is 25 weeks. And they say 9 months in, 9 months out, but that is only possible if I'm really consistent at my age with my metabolism and eating lean proteins. And I just want to, be happy with where I'm at, but also making good decisions to serve my body and my future self. Part of it is I did have about 10 to 15 pounds that I did not lose after my third miscarriage last November. And I just wasn't able to recover from that before getting pregnant again. And so some of this weight I've held on for a year and a half now. And so this is just part of my journey, and I'm happy to share with all of you my tips and ideas that I do over the next, 5 to 6 months in my journey back to just my healthy weight. But the chicken breast, super handy. I've already enjoyed it a few ways. I just love it with some avocado mayo. If you're looking for more of a fattier, nutrient filling meal. If you're looking for a leaner option, you can just do Greek yogurt. But if you just mix that with some salt and pepper, onion and garlic powder, it makes either the fat or the lean one, makes for a really great meal. You can throw it in a casserole, you can throw it in a soup, you can throw it on a salad. So handy. And so this will probably just be a new part of my routine so that I can just have some protein to grab. If you have some protein rich lunches or breakfasts or snacks that you are loving as a mom that also help with, making sure our nursing supply is strong, then please leave them down below. I'm always looking to pin some new ideas. So back to our routine. The girls were able to do all their independent work. Sometimes we have a language lesson, or I need to work on Plutarch, check their math, make sure everything is understood. And then when we have a chance, we will sit down together and do our, I guess we'll just call it circle time now, since it's not necessarily going to be in the morning. In this specific day, we actually did it right after lunch. And these subjects are enrichment studies, and so they're not as demanding on the mind. And so I know that's why some people will do them in the afternoon and leave the math and the learning more difficult subjects for the first very few hours. But in the previous years, we had not done morning time. We just push it off. And so I still want to make sure it's prioritized. So that is what our routine looks like for the rest of the remaining school year. Let me know what we have and comment down below. And if you're new to my channel, then I would love for you to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.